Coming up on the October 1st edition of Carolina Week, illegal immigration. It's a political hot topic, and now it's made its way to the Tar Heel State. We've got the story.
Coming to college can be a tough adjustment for some students, but experts say having a furry friend at home can help.
Forget tobacco. North Carolina has a new booming industry, and it's the fruit of the vine. All that and more.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the UNC School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering Carolina in HD, this is Carolina Week.
When everyone makes an A in class, are some of the A's really C's? Hello, I'm Anissa Jabbar.
And I'm Kristen Ruffin. The push to add some context to grades is just about to take effect at Carolina. If you've ever taken a class to get an easy A, that A might not look as good anymore. Big transcript changes have come to Carolina. We sat down with the professor who's been the driving force behind the changes. Jacqueline Lee reports.
Sociology professor Andrew Parent has been pushing for changes to UNC grading since 2005. He says he's not alone.
Various faculty on this campus have been very concerned with grading issues since the 1990s.
Parent says the transcript changes address three key issues with grading at Carolina. Number one is grade inflation among professors. Number two is grade compression, meaning less students can appear as outstanding because more students are getting higher grades. And last is systematic grading inequality.
Different departments, different kinds of intellectual work, and different instructors within departments tend to issue quite different grades for their classes.
To address this, transcripts will now give more context. As you can see here, the new transcripts show class size, the average grade received in the class, and how students rank among their counterparts. Sophomore Ankita Jain is a pre-med student and says she thinks the new transcripts will help when she's applying to medical schools.
The rigor of the science curriculum, especially the pre-med curriculum here, is underestimated.
But not everyone is enthusiastic about the changes, like sophomore Morgan Welch.
You're trying to get a really good grade in it, and maybe getting an A is what you need, like for your GPA or something like that. You don't necessarily want it to devalue it. You would like an A to look as good as it could be.
Parent says giving context to grades is extremely important.
For every A that we're showing to be not really deserved, there's a C somewhere out there that is actually a tremendously good grade.
However, getting students to think like that could be a big challenge. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jacqueline Lee reporting.
The UNC Faculty Council approved the new system in April 2011, and the changes will appear on next semester's transcripts.
Falling behind in some of your classes, or maybe just need some extra help? Visit the Learning Center's free peer tutoring, offered twice a week. Every Tuesday and Wednesday from 6 to 9 p.m., the second floor of Dye Hall is the spot for peer-to-peer tutoring. Tutoring is offered for more than 50 UNC courses, including languages, sciences, economics, and psychology. Para-tutors are available to clarify and review class material. Appointments are available and walk-ins are welcome too. For information about how to become a para-tutor, visit the Learning Center website.
North Carolina is third behind California and New York for wine tourism. You might have heard through the grapevine that we make 2 million gallons of wine per year, and we learned grapes are shaking things up for North Carolina farmers.
We don't have a lot of time to go visit everybody's wineries anymore because we're all busy.
Busy is good, and business is great for grape growers in North Carolina. That's according to the owners of Ragapple Lassie Vineyard and Winery.
It is absolutely great fun.
It's so much fun. In fact, Lena Hobson and her husband never leave their vineyard in Yadkin County.
We're here 7 days a week. We're open to the public 7 days a week.
So you might be surprised to hear owning a winery wasn't exactly on their bucket list.
We're here because this was our plan B to keep this farm agricultural, self-sustaining, and intact.
Look at this, row after row of vines filled with grapes, but that's not what you would have seen here about 15 years ago. This was a tobacco farm. Hobson says the demise of the North Carolina tobacco industry led to the rise of the wine industry. And a spokesperson from the North Carolina Department of Agriculture confirmed the trend.
Yeah, there's definitely been a correlation in the decline of tobacco and the rise of grapes.
Tobacco may have been king in Carolina, but grapes are stealing the crown. The state's wine industry has tripled in size since 2005, with 100 wineries opening in the last 10 years. Winslow says that means billions for the North Carolina economy.
2009, we recorded it was a $1.28 billion industry and supported 7,600 jobs statewide.
This is good news for the Hobson family.
Even people who don't like Chardonnay love our Chardonnay.
The farm that's been in the family for more than 100 years will live on as long as visitors keep coming in for a sip. Tobacco is still a billion-dollar industry in North Carolina, but farmers produced about 450,000 fewer pounds of tobacco in 2011 than they did in 1997. A new economic impact report for the wine industry will be out early next year.
With sexual assault a topic on campus, students have a resource for peace of mind when walking alone after dark. Students who feel unsafe can contact Safe Walk. It's a student government initiative that provides a male-female pair of trained walkers to take you to your requested on-campus destination. The walkers can also take students to some off-campus locations, including Granville Towers, Franklin Street, and MLK Boulevard. Safe Walk operates Sundays through Thursdays between the hours of 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. And speaking of safety, college students on the other side of the planet are fearing for their own. Hong Kong protesters, many of them students, are calling on the Chinese government to let Hong Kong residents elect their own leader. The protests have grown in size, paralyzing large areas of downtown Hong Kong as students show up to occupy the area outside government headquarters. On Sunday, the protests moved onto Hong Kong's busiest streets, prompting police to release tear gas. On Monday, thousands of people spread across the city's main government, business, and shopping districts. At least 59 people have been injured, 12 of them police officers. We tried to speak with exchange students from Hong Kong here at UNC, but they all declined to comment, fearing for their own safety.
Unaccompanied minors crossing the border illegally between the United States and Mexico have been in the national spotlight for the past few months. But this issue has also affected North Carolina. Jordan Nash has more.
An influx of minors crossing the border illegally hits close to home. North Carolina has the 8th largest population of detained unaccompanied minors in the country. According to Tiffany Nelms of the U.S. Committee for Refugees and Immigrants, UNC-Chapel, there were about 24,500 unaccompanied minors detained in 2013. This year,
so the fiscal year ends today, I think we're probably close to 70,000.
UNC-Chapel provides services for the most traumatized unaccompanied minors. Nelm says the reasons for minors coming to the U.S. have changed in the past few years.
When I started in this field almost 10 years ago, kids were coming to work. Kids were coming to support their families back home, and that's changed dramatically.
She says children are now fleeing from traumatic experiences in their home countries. Amy Schaefer works for the NC Field Office of the USCRI. She says the sponsors of minors sometimes aren't well equipped to help them because they're immigrants themselves.
They definitely want to support them and love them, but sometimes they just don't know how and don't realize how that's actually going to change their household.
But Nelm says the issue is bigger than illegal immigration.
For so long the dialogue has been about immigration, and it's really not an immigration issue anymore. It's a humanitarian issue, both in the country of origin and here at the border.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Jordan Nash reporting.
The Obama administration is sending funds to Central American countries to try to improve human rights there. Officials expect the number of unaccompanied minors to increase in the next coming months. Have you ever gone willingly to talk with a cop? How about over coffee and pastries? They might not have been eating donuts, but these Chapel Hill area cops did take some time to enjoy a morning snack recently. Officers from Chapel Hill, Carborough, and UNC's campus met at a coffee shop once a month to interact with local residents and address any questions or concerns they might have. Officers say this is an event that's laid back and fun and allows them to build trust with the communities they serve. Depression is a common problem on college campuses, and the solution, it might be simpler than you think.
Could pets be part of the cure? We have the story next.
Be sure to check out Carolina Week online at carolinaweek.org. Connect with us online by liking the Carolina Week Facebook page and following us on Twitter at Carolina Week UNC.
Staring contest!
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic. That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. And every day more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. HSF.net.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning? Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
When you live on campus, everything is convenient. The bus system, the dining halls, but is life sweeter on the other side? Our Susanna Black is live at Chapel Ridge Apartments in Chapel Hill, sharing the pros and cons of living off campus. Susanna.
Thanks, Kristen. Out of 19,000 undergrads at UNC, only about half of those live on campus. Now, we're here at Chapel Ridge, one of the largest apartment complexes for undergrad students. So for those who choose to live off campus, is it worth it? Our Kendall Adkins has the story.
Senior Ashley Ross is living off campus for the first time.
I moved off campus mainly because I wanted carpeted floors. I know that sounds like really weird, but I really like to walk around without any shoes on. I don't feel comfortable doing that in my dorm.
While comfort played a big role in Ross's move off campus, pricing was also a huge factor.
Yeah, it just solidified the deal because it was cheaper than what I was paying in Rams last year.
Director of Housing and Residential Education, Larry Hicks, says cost shouldn't be a factor.
But the price point, if you compare the price of living on campus to off campus, is pretty comparable.
Hicks says the housing department does its best to keep student housing affordable. He says the cost of on-campus housing increases by only 2 or 3% per year.
We have to be cognizant of the rent dollar because if you charge too much, students walk.
That's exactly what Ross did. But she admits to missing the easy access that comes with living on campus.
I used to enjoy walking to and from class and to and from my apartment. I would use that as my time to decompress. And,
Besides that, Ross has no regrets about her decision.
But I think it's all worth it in the end because I get to live with my friends and I get carpeted floors and I don't know, I feel like I'm on my own and it's a good time. I like living off campus.
There are advantages to living both on and off campus, and Ross says it comes down to individual preference. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kendall Atkins reporting.
Now, to live in Ram Village, it costs about $7,000 for a 10-month lease. Ross is paying less than that, about $300 less for a 12-month lease. Another perk to living off campus is that in some places you can have a pet. Now, no dogs here in Chapel Ridge, but Carol Lyle tells us that pets can actually help improve the symptoms of those who suffer from one of the most common mental disorders, depression.
Chelsea Cole is a senior at UNC. When she was 17 years old, doctors diagnosed her with depression.
Freshman year was pretty rough. I was skipping a lot of my classes. I was not getting great grades. I was sleeping all the time, so that was kind of rough.
Cole says after moving into her apartment and adopting 2 cats, her depression improved.
Come on, get it.
Amanda Dorn is the general psychiatrist in Cary. She says even non-human companionship makes a difference.
Just having another heartbeat in the household, I feel like, can be so helpful for people.
Research shows that about 1 in 4 people between the ages of 18 and 24 are diagnosed with depression. About a third of women will experience symptoms of depression in their lives. That's nearly twice the rate of men. Doran says pets can help you establish a routine and improve your health.
Companion animals can be the reason why people get out of bed in the morning and start their day at a decent hour rather than sleep all day.
Pets can also make for good company if you don't like being alone.
When I'm home and my roommate's out, sometimes it's nice that there are two, furry little creatures running around the house and I'm not here completely by myself, because that used to stress me out.
To get the most benefits, doctors say to choose a pet that matches your lifestyle and physical capabilities. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kara Lyle reporting.
Now, if you think you might be suffering from depression, visit the Counseling and Psychological Services at the Campus Health Building. It's free to all students on campus or not. Kristen?
Susanna Black live at Chapel Ridge Apartments in Chapel Hill. Thanks, Susanna. A UNC senior is showing signs of improvement after being in a coma for nearly 2 months. Jacqueline Segovia was in a car accident in August. The Carolina Club served pasta with a purpose for Jacqueline to help fund her medical expenses. She previously worked at the club. Carolina Club members, students, and others within the Carolina community gathered in support. She's now in a rehabilitation facility in New Jersey that specializes in traumatic brain injuries. If you'd like to help, visit GoFundMe.com and type in Jacqueline Segovia.
And the charity continues. Relay for Life is one of the biggest yearly philanthropic events on campus and has kicked off its funding season. Forest Theater was the site of the free kickoff concert. More than 150 people came out. Relay for Life members were selling t-shirts and luminaries to raise money for cancer research. The night began with the performance by a cappella group The Clefhangers. UNC junior Matthew Fenner spoke about his battle with skin cancer and how important Relay for Life has been in his own life. The concert ended with a performance by local band Clockwork Kids.
And even more generosity. 8 companies lined up their food trucks around Carrboro Town Commons, all to raise money for one organization. Chapel Hill Carrboro Meals on Wheels sponsored its 3rd annual food truck rodeo Friday night. Lots of people came out to grab a bite to eat and relax for a good cause. 10% of the food truck sales went to Meals on Wheels, which delivers nutritious meals to seniors and disabled individuals. Volunteers sold baked goods, with some desserts already sporting a Halloween theme. October is here, which means we're starting to see some fall colors.
And starting to feel some cooler temperatures. Drew Day is next with our forecast.
That's low, that's low. That's low and below.
Look, he's blushing.
Seriously.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Thank you, dear. You're very supple. It's like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
And welcome back to Carolina Week, everyone. I'm Drew Day. Thanks for staying with us. We'll start off your forecast this evening by taking a look at the visible satellite across the state today. We started off this morning with lots of clouds over the area, even some dense fog in some locations. But then once the sun came out around 9 and 10 o'clock, that fog was able to burn off, and we were left with partly cloudy skies over the area today, highs making it into the lower 80s. Now we'll back out and take a look at the nationwide picture. The next weather system that we're watching is back off to the northwest. We have a cold front lining up up right about in here, and it is this cold front that will be bringing us some rain later on this week, perhaps on Friday evening throughout early Saturday morning as this cold front pushes eastward. Now let's take a look at what's going on right now and walk you through the next day or two here. We have a stationary front over the state right now, but it's not going to do much to change our weather here throughout the overnight period and into tomorrow. We expect it to remain with partly cloudy skies this evening, lows making it into the 60s. There's that front still off to the west. Now later on this evening, the front will kind of move just to the south a little bit, but again, we expect no worse than partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow morning, as you're waking up, we'll have perhaps a few clouds over the area, maybe some dense fog once again, but not as widespread as what we had over the area today. So be prepared for that as you're making your way out tomorrow morning. And then by tomorrow evening, we expect perhaps just a little bit more cloud cover over the area, but no precipitation expected. This green here is just picking up on the fact that we may have some thick clouds over the area. Now, if you're headed out to the football game later on this weekend on Saturday as we take on Virginia Tech, tailgating temperatures will be in the lower 60s with partly cloudy skies by the time the game kicks off at 12:30 in the afternoon. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s, upper 60s for the post game with partly cloudy skies for the majority of the game. But as you can see, it will be quite chilly, so be prepared for that. Not as warm as what we've had these past few Saturdays for football games. Now, overnight tonight, temperatures will be in the lower 60s, partly cloudy and cool over the area, so maybe a light jacket for this evening. Tomorrow afternoon, highs will make it into the lower 80s, 81 with partly cloudy skies, light winds. Again, perhaps some fog as you start your day tomorrow morning. 62, 77 at lunchtime, and then 72 by 8 p.m. in the evening. Now, as we take a look at the 5-day forecast now, temperatures will be in the lower 80s tomorrow afternoon, perhaps a chance of a shower on Friday later in the day, perhaps a thunderstorm lasting into Saturday morning, but at least for the day on Saturday, that will be dry. Perhaps the bleachers will be wet for the game on Saturday, and then upper 60s for Sunday and 68, so much cooler weather coming for this weekend.
Well, Drew, you know, I like it when it's a little bit cooler out for a game.
Yeah, it'll actually feel like a fall football game this weekend.
Go to the concessions, get some hot chocolate.
Yes.
Thanks, Drew.
All right, you're welcome.
Drew.
Coming up next in sports, Campus Rec is changing things up for non-varsity athletes. That's next.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Luis Fernandez with sports. Men's soccer took on 22nd ranked UNC-Chapel in Wilmington Tuesday, and, well, things didn't go too well for the Heels. The team lost 4-3. That's Carolina's third straight loss. The former #1 team in the country started off the season 5-1 with a +8 goal differential. In its 3 losses, the team has been outscored 8-4. Carolina has now given up as many goals this year as they gave up all of last regular season. Now moving on to the gridiron, 120 points in 2 weeks. Well, you don't win many football games like that. The 2-2 Heels welcome Virginia Tech to Kenan on Saturday. Fortunately for the Heels, the Hokies don't have a high-powered offense. If the defense can just stay in its assignments, and if quarterback Marquise Williams continues his great play from the Clemson game, UNC has a good chance to grab its first ACC win of the year. Now, athletics aren't just about the guys who step on the court or the girls who run on the pitch. Every day, people are athletes too. At UNC Campus Recreation, they help to bring out that fitness guru in each of us. Now, Campus Rec is changing its look.
The Student Recreation Center, or SRC, is a hotspot on campus for health and fitness. Students and faculty march in to work out.
how are you doing? Good. Enjoy your workout.
It can get a little busy though. Senior Claire Holt says she loves the SRC, but things need to change.
The ceilings are kind of like a little outdated, the carpets, I don't know, sometimes it doesn't feel like a gym.
Luckily for Holt and all of the Carolina community, updates are coming, and not just to the SRC. Campus Recreation is revamping the entire system. Fetzer Field, campus gyms, Hooker Field, everything is on the table. President of Campus Recreation Bill Goa says it's about bringing the system up to speed.
We're looking to ways to better utilize a lot of the facilities that we have on campus to make them more user-friendly.
Campus Rec hired 360 Architecture to oversee the project. Campus Rec and 360 Architecture held forums in the student union, meeting with students. 360 is looking for what the students want. Project manager Doug Barraza loves to get them involved.
They are the creators of the vision that will be the next 40, 50 years of campus recreation.
Students will have a direct say in the design. After 2 days, 1,500 people responded to a campus rec survey about possible changes. Senior project designer James Brom says fitness has changed, and students have taken note.
Now it's about a full workout. It's about functional training. It's about high intensity training. We're seeing the limits pushed with each project, and that's what they're looking for.
The plans should be final in a few months. There have been a lot of interesting ideas so far, including a Tar Heel shaped pool with hot tubs for toes. How cool is that, guys? Hot tubs for toes.
So cool, like unreal.
I wish I wasn't a senior. I want to see it.
Yeah, for real. That'd be great.
Thanks.
Well, thanks, Lewis.
It was a music-filled weekend at UNC, from bluegrass on the front porch to local bands gathering in Carborough.
We'll hear all about it next.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
Dad's home!
Yeah. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Celebrating Fridays on the front porch of the Carolina Inn has long been a tradition in Chapel Hill, but now we find ourselves saying goodbye until next year. Food, family, furry friends, and fun have been weekend staples for the past few months. At the end of each week, the Carolina Inn hosts Fridays on the front porch. Family and friends gather to celebrate the weekend with music, dancing, and of course, a few drinks. The Inn is celebrated all summer long, but as we fade into fall, we only have one more Friday on the front porch until next year.
There's a music festival older than Bonnaroo, Tomorrow World, and Ultra, and it's right here in our backyard. 250 bands auditioned for a spot on the set list at the 17th Annual Carborough Music Festival. 180 bands got the gig and performed on 25 stages scattered throughout Carborough. Fans danced to the beat, some drank from the tap, and a few others sat back to enjoy the music. The event is free, and it's Carborough's effort to showcase Triangle area performers in a variety of musical styles.
That does it for this edition. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.